All right, let's get started.
No more heroes, it's Kira, the Kira, catch on nobody but yourself, nothing less to do.
Travis, it's kill or be killed.
All right. Yo, hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate you guys for all popping in, waiting through that starting soon screen. Today we're just gonna be discussing some more gaming news, nothing too crazy, nothing too controversial, and then just playing some more Demon Souls. Recently, I just went and made a new Twitter just to, what's the word for it? Stay more informed with like different things going on in the gaming space, and of course fighting game news as well. Just because there's giant tournaments going on and most people are still on Twitter, so if you're looking for information or just looking for anything going on currently, I'm not gonna say it's the best source for like accurate and credible information, but if you want information in real time surrounding all these announcements, a lot of these gaming pages and a lot of these developers do have pages on Twitter, so not necessarily a bad place to be if you curate your page correctly. And starting from the ground up, basically, again, from starting over, essentially allowed me to do that, so that's a thing. Though I found out Twitter considers me a bot, I guess because I made a new account, and apparently if you post too much, Twitter, as a safety precaution, likes to limit your traffic for like the first 1 or 2 days I've seen people talking about. So we're gonna hope the problem fixes itself eventually. With that all being said, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have had a wonderful start to your days, or, you know, we're at the midpoint of the week. Just gotta make it till Friday for some people, and some people just gotta make it to the weekend. But here's hoping that either if your week hasn't had the best start or isn't going the best, that it turns around, or if it's going really well, I hope it continues going well. But yeah, we're gonna start off talking about some gaming news here, and our first article of the day is gonna be based around Helldivers 2. Let me actually full screen this so you guys can see it. Which apparently Helldivers 2 is finally getting that Halo crossover after all the comparisons and popularity of both franchises. I'd say Halo's not doing so well now, but it still is one of the most iconic shooters to ever come out and ever release. I really was something big, something huge. You just had to be there. If you didn't play Halo, truly you missed out. Like Halo, Gears, of course, like other shooters as well, like Unreal Tournament, Quake. If you played any of those, some of those came out before I was born, so hey, here we go. But anyways, yeah, as per the article, Helldivers 2 is teased a Halo 3 ODST crossover ahead of its Xbox launch. And I really was wondering how they were going to do a Halo crossover, if it was going to be Spartans or Orbital Dropshot Troopers, just because I feel like that would fit the Helldivers universe a lot more, especially since they literally do what ODSTs do. If anybody doesn't know ODST, I might have said it already, it stands for Orbital Dropshot Trooper. They're getting dropped in from space into the Earth's atmosphere, or the planet's atmosphere, whichever one they happen to be landing on. And I don't think they were a part of any Spartan program. They were just kind of like regular humans, but part of like a more elite unit, different from normal Marines. Let's go on to see what else they're saying. If you guys don't know, you know now. Helldivers 2 is landing on Xbox Series S and X later this month. And in a new trailer celebrating the former PlayStation exclusive's arrival on the Microsoft hardware, there was a brief tease for a beloved piece of Halo history right at the end. Here's a trailer which isn't referencing the Costco guys, was used to pods. Okay. But right at the end of the trailer, let's actually just watch the trailer since they're talking about the trailer. Quality of playing that 360p. No, it's on 1080. Oh wait, that was the end of the trailer. Let me skip to the beginning.
Rated M for mature.
I haven't heard this song in so long. Uh. I say there's nothing worse when you're surrounded by all the bugs, all the robots, and you're trying to get someone to call an extraction and they're constantly entering the wrong code. I've been someone guilty of that, of shooting someone in the back of the head just because we're running out of time. I'm like a commissar in Warhammer. But the 26th of August, that's actually relatively soon. That's gonna be really cool. I think this is New Mombasa. Especially with the music too. Which is really dope because I wonder if they would go all the way and if like they would be like, oh, the Helldivers too. Like in that universe, orbital drop shock troopers exist because that would kind of make them canon in Halo. If what is it, 343 Studios wanted to go that far, or are they Halo Studios now? I think they've changed their name trying to get away from the bad branding. I'm not 100% sure, but they're still 343. But they go on to say that crossovers have to make sense. We don't want to be Kingdom Hearts.
J.Deep says Edam. Excuse me. May I have the floor?
Of course.
Speaking of two and best friends. If we could clone you and put me in the middle of you both like a Chinese finger trap, my life would be fulfilled and could finish at the very moment you do. Both of you. A sea of max to consume. Now come catch this glug glug awk awk gurgle gurgle gulping you deserve, you handsome fucker.
It's always the sound effects at the end and everything that get me, Jay. I hope you're doing well. Wait, Tony, aren't you live right now? What are you doing, streamer? Dre, boo. Appreciate y'all popping in as always, but I thought he was playing The Last of Us right now. I'm much better now. Oh, Lord. Look. Yeah, y'all were supposed to be watching Tony playing The Last of Us right now. That's what was supposed to be happening. This is supposed to be Jay's and I moment right here. we interrupt this program just to bring you Max blushing. Oh Lord.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I can't, man. Look, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. I appreciate y'all popping in. We were just talking about this Halo and Helldivers crossover that we're supposed to be getting. Helldivers 2 is releasing on the Xbox as of the 26th of this month. So apparently we're going to be getting an ODST crossover with Helldivers 2 in the new Mombasa city from ODST. We love this tradition. I can see. By the way, what's up, Angelic? Hope you're doing well as well. I hope all of you are having a good day. or a better day. Apparently, I hope your days have gotten better seeing my harassment. Yeah, that's all I've really got the mental capacity for to carry on this conversation. Honestly, back to my bricks. Hit a clicker in the head with a brick for me. Do that. But oh Lord. It's always the same feeling when everybody comes through, because as soon as Jay hits the message, I know everybody's coming through. Then my social anxiety is just like, it's so funny. But yeah, y'all take it easy. Let me go through more of this gaming news before we play Demon Souls. But yeah, on the surface, of course, Halo 3 ODST has a lot in common with Helldivers 2, and they even went on to say that crossovers have to make sense. They don't have to be Kingdom Hearts or Fortnite. If we do them, we want them to add something feel good, fun, a memory, but we like for it to make sense and fit in. But both games feature regular human soldiers, chunky arsenals, and troopers that like to make an entrance via orbital means. And how this crossover will work out remains to be seen. Although it's possible we'll see new weapons and cosmetics influenced by Halo 3 ODST, the general look of that game will fit in well with the Helldivers 2 universe, as the armor and weapons from the game wouldn't feel out of place in Helldivers 2. Halo 3 ODST was famously the penultimate game in the series from its original developer Bungie before it moved on to start its work at Destiny. The game has become a cult classic over the years and is still highly regarded as one of the best in the mainline Halo series. I remember when ODST came out, Like, this part feels slightly like revisionist history, because when this game came out, people hated ODST. It was either you loved the game or you hated it, because most people felt as if it should have been a DLC and not charged as a full price game. But primarily the newest thing they added to Halo, which was a great thing, was the firefight mode. This is back before everybody started doing big giant horde modes, like back before Gears started doing it, back before anybody else really started integrating horde modes or wave defenses like that in games currently. That is way before Fortnite, way before, I'm not gonna say before Killing Floor, because Killing Floor was an Unreal Tournament mod if I remember correctly, but horde modes became a trend and firefight modes became a trend sometime after ODST was released. It started that, and then we got it in almost every other Halo game afterwards. Firefight was a dope mode. But yeah, if you guys are looking forward to Helldivers 2, this crossover, I'd say look forward to it starting sometime after the 26th when it actually appears in the Xbox Series S and X. So that'll be fun. But it's also been weird is that some PlayStation fans have been getting on Twitter and just saying how much they're gonna be, what's the word for it, killing people on Helldivers 2 if they find out they're on Xbox. Really weird behavior. By the way, if you're on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Your boy just made a new Twitter, and Twitter currently thinks I'm a bot. So I guess I gotta increase my following or something. Or just wait a day or two. I guess I've just been posting a little too much, too fast. They must have some type of like bot protection in place, which I'm not mad at them for. But speaking of weird behavior, apparently there's a new report that just came out about a day or two ago saying that 80% of gamers have encountered cheaters online from a study that was recently done. Let's go on to see what might have happened here. This is the screenshot of a cheater, by the way. This is them seeing everybody's names, their current location, dropping in the war zone. They have a whole radar where enemies are going to be and where to find them. And you really gotta wonder, some people cheat to troll, some people cheat to make a statement to the developers, some people cheat just because they want to feel good at something. You really gotta wonder what's got people continuously cheating in games like these, especially in Warzone, because it's just like, why? And you have people who stream that cheat as well, and then they get caught cheating and then they have to delete their whole entire channel. Some pro players get caught doing it as well. It's insane, man. But let's go on to see what they say here. Even fighting games aren't safe, and neither was Fall Guys, because Fall Guys had cheaters. But if you played any modern competitive title, you'll likely have stumbled upon someone cheating or using nefarious exploit to gain the upper hand. In fact, it's not even a modern problem. This goes back to the origins of multiplayer focused games, period. In a new report headlined by PlaySafe ID, has been revealed that a staggering 80% of gamers, as per the report of course, have come across a cheater in an online game, which has led to a whopping 42% of players considering quitting their game because of the influx of cheaters. Some games are worse than others, but the chief concern here is that this is a global problem that plagues games everywhere. And of course, it's a serious issue, but last month they go on to say they covered the introduction of PlaySafe ID, which was an organization determined to make otherworldly dent in the massive cheaters finding their way into games like Escape from Tarkov, Rainbow Six Siege, and Call of Duty. Even Battlefield has some cheaters. Some people were complaining about the time to kill and the fact that they were getting one shot and dying immediately, when in all reality it might have been a cheater using super bullets to kill them in one shot, which is apparently something that was happening. They thought with Secure Boot they'd be able to circumvent most of the cheaters, and I think they said they blocked around 330,000 cheaters, but still there are some that always will slip through the cracks. No matter how secure your game is or your servers are, someone's almost always gonna find a way in. But the same organization has now fronted a report looking into the state of cheating across the global games industry. In a survey targeting more than 2,000 gamers across the United States and the United Kingdom, a series of questions was asked that turned up damning results. Only 20% of gamers reported never having met a cheater online. From the slew of those impacted by cheaters, 55% admitted that they've either stopped or reduced how much they spend on microtransactions or in-game purchases because they don't trust the game. Additionally, is it pronounced Kiba? Or is it Kaiba? I'm sorry if I butcher your name. I'm just trying to make sure I pronounce it right. But welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We're just reading some gaming news here. Kiba. Okay. Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure. I hope you're doing well. We're just reading some more of this gaming news about these stats regarding cheaters and how many people have experienced cheating. But it even goes on to say 42% of gamers have been on the verge of quitting a game that's entirely and never looking back because of cheaters. That's certainly the case from Escape from Tarkov players, despite the developer banning thousands of cheaters every few weeks. The game's sentiment is at an all-time low. Oh, okay. Okay, absolutely. I got you. I got you. Is the VT at the end of your name? Are you a VTuber now? That's pretty cool. Or is it just like something you feel like adding? I know some VTubers have VT, some YouTubers have TV or YT, I mean. And of course, Twitch streamers do like TV. Nice, love that for you. Hope that's been going well. Let me see here. I could definitely speak for Escape from Tarkov and games like Counter-Strike or Apex or Warzone. It seems like the biggest, most popular shooters, you know, surprising no one, right, are gonna have some of the biggest sources of cheaters, especially if your game is free to play. Dead by Daylight also had the same issue when their game went free to play. They had a cheater issue before, but it never got as bad as it was until the game went free to play. Because what a lot of cheaters did and what a lot of people did is they had bots go in and make a bunch of accounts when the game was free during its free weekend. And so even if they get banned on their current account, they can just go in and sign in from another account because Dead by Daylight doesn't do hardware bans. VTuber models are hella expensive. Oh yeah, I imagine, because I remember I had a 3D model once, which is literally just a model of me. It was the most basic and simplest one you could get, is like with basic rigging too, and it was still like $300. So I'd imagine some people who pay for like their 2D VTubers with the moving hair and just like the mouth facial expressions and stuff like that, costing thousands easily. I've seen some people who've paid thousands for theirs. I've seen some people who've had other people buy their VTubers and then they stop streaming, which that's always wild. I don't think I could ever do that. If somebody spent thousands of dollars for me to continue streaming and not just stop entirely, no. I've seen people buy bodysuits, like motion capture suits that cost thousands of dollars just so like they can move their VTubers and do other stuff with that because of the motion capture software. And plus, like, if your VTuber is made to be able to do stuff like that, then you can port it into different software and just rig it manually, or you wouldn't even have to rig it because it's following your movements and it just follows the animation software. I think it was a Rococo bodysuit. Rococo. It's them and like a few other people, but I think Rococo is like a little more on the affordable side. Even though all these suits cost like thousands of dollars anyway. That's kind of crazy to say if they're all that expensive, right? But yeah, going on, it was recently even discovered that cheaters have made their way into the Battlefield 6 beta, which had been live for mere hours at the time. And an unexpected stat, 71% of those surveyed revealed they'd be happy verifying their identity with an accredited verification company, which is the world that PlaySafe ID wants to build. This right here would not recommend. Would not recommend. We have people trying to do that now. This is how most places end up collecting your data and selling it to the highest bidder. We've seen this time and time after again with like places like Facebook, Instagram. Even if you don't want them to collect your data, they'll still steal it. And this could be such a big breach of trust and people's identities, because if your database gets hacked, people's actual IDs are leaking. But this accountability would see to it that cheaters don't go unidentified. But who's to say that you wouldn't be able to just grab a random ID of a driver's license or someone else's license and then just put that in there, and then that would be something you could use? Because that happens. That's what's happening right now with some of these places over who are requiring age verification and ID verification, or people requiring you to submit pictures of yourself to prove that you're not young and that you're of age. People started using Death Stranding 2 screenshots to prove how old they were and grabbing their parents' IDs and then using those and then saying that's who they were. You got to think about it. If you're going to have rules like this, there's always going to be some bad kid who's going to circumvent it and go around it. But man, like, but apparently worryingly, 62% of gamers have also admitted to having felt tempted to cheat. And the full report was published on the PlaySafe ID site. So if you guys do want to see that full report, let me know. I can drop it in the chat for anybody who may be curious. But it's a damning thing that might have you feeling concerned about multiplayer gaming. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Want some more positive news? You guys might have already seen it if you already play the game regularly. This game has pretty much exploded in popularity. We're talking about Peak. If you guys were previously unaware, they had a lava biome. They had a biome with ice, one that was more jungle oriented, and one that's like a beach biome somewhat like. because it's just one of those things where you start out when your plane crashes on the island, you gotta, you know, climb to the top of the mountain, the peak. That's why it's called peak. You and 3 other friends go do that. What's up, Wolf? The whole verifying ID online, more specifically social media, is a way to stop protesting and speaking up. Yeah. Demon Time with the title. Thank you. It's just something I used to hear a lot, so I was like, you know, I couldn't think of anything else, so I just said, let me throw this in, see how it works. It's always one of my friends used to say, he said, I never seen 2 pretty best friends. And then one of our other friends was like, but I'm your best friend. And he said, yeah, I'm the pretty best friend. And it just went on from there. But yeah, so this patch adds a new biome and also highlights the addition of a bug phobia mode. So Peak has turned up the heat with a new area to explore called Mesa, which is a sandy biome with a sizzling sun beating down on climbers. Thankfully, the patch notes state that shade can be found as well as sunscreen and parasols as part of the Mesa update, which is now available for the co-op game. Not the pretty best friend, yeah. Developers Agro Crab and Landfall broke down a major update for Peak on Steam. For the next week, it will actually replace the Alpine biome and runs, and then afterward, they will rotate randomly. Sunscreen and parasols aren't the only new items in the update. Other additions include aloe vera, scout cannon, and dynamite. Oh lord, that's gonna kill somebody. And there are also a couple of mysteries that aren't detailed. Do you guys know the owner of Dynamite actually died due to his invention? The owner, I meant the creator. Welcome to the table, 3 of you very pretty, and there's 4 girls. Oh lord, Wolf wants to start problems. Let's see what this trailer fully adds. Let's go on to see what they got here.
Ping pong.
Oh, nice.
This way. I didn't pack any SPF.
Oh my god, the top of the juice. Ah!
And just take a second to appreciate that they actually captured people playing the game in the game to show off different features of the game instead of just telling them what they are and talking over it and showing none of it, which is something a lot more developers do. I really got to clap it up for them here, because this is a good example of somebody actually taking the time out to show what could be interesting and exciting about these,
I got you.
even if it's just like 32 seconds.
Over here.
Whoa, guys, I found dynamite.
Because I believe they're a smaller studio. I think this is the same studio that made another Crab's Treasure, right? But it's cool. Also, they added cannibalism not too long ago, in a totally normal update by their definition. But yeah, so what do you say? 3 hours? I'm sorry, I can't read. I know I have a degree, but contrary to popular belief, I cannot read. Would you say 3 hour streams 3 times a week is too little or just right? So I'm gonna answer this 2 ways, right? With the optimal timing and what most streamers recommend who have been doing it for a while. Most streamers say to stream at minimum at least 4 hours a week. Not 4 hours a week in total, but if you do a stream, have your stream be 4 hours if possible. Just because it gives people time to follow you, find you, and make sure they have time to actually enjoy the stream, and you can do different things throughout the stream so it's entertaining, because that's like the optimal spot, the minimum to increase growth and to give people a chance to see you. Because if you go live on Twitch, most people aren't going to see you until that first hour. Sometimes people aren't going to drop in until hour 2, and then if you're still kind of in that growing phase between those first 2 hours where you're still getting things done, you're still accomplishing stuff, and people are kind of rolling in steadily, then the last 2 hours are kind of giving them reasons to show why they're sticking around. Of course, you're supposed to be doing that through an entire stream, but you have that first half that's kind of like the starter, and then kind of like by 2 hours and a half, 3 hours, that would be the middle, and then the 4th hour would be like, okay, this is the wrap up. That's supposedly the optimal timing for people like, you know, Shroud or Jinxie when he exploded in popularity. I think Kai does way longer now, but I think he was one of the people doing 4 hour streams and stuff. But if you do 3 hour streams 3 times a week and that works for you, that's the best time. Whatever is more consistent, whatever keeps you consistent, whatever lets you be able to stream without it becoming too much of an issue and it's still being fun, that's always going to be the best thing. If you're someone who can only stream at midnight, like that is the only time you can stream, because you absolutely have to, you cannot stream at any other point in the day, that is the best time. If you can only do 3-hour streams 3 times a week, that is the best time. If you can only do 1 3-hour stream a week, that is the best time. A lot of your growth from Twitch is going to come from other platforms, especially if you're newer or smaller. So if you're doing it for growth, whatever is the most consistent for you will be the best choice for you. But as always, as per usual, if you want to grow on Twitch, you're going to have to start your following in other places. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you can get people to kind of funnel into your stream. Just from what people like Agent have said, who were like doing their streamer university classes, was one of the very few people actually teaching, because Twitch is a platform where it's like a snowball effect. You have to build that following. You have to have as many people up to continuously grow. Like once you start uphill and you start rolling, you start getting it going. Because unfortunately, it's very top heavy. The more viewers you have, the more people are going to see you. The less viewers you have, the less people are going to see you, because you're being pushed to the bottom by everybody at the top. So if you want to start growing gradually, you have to start making content, if that is your goal. I'm not going to say making content on other platforms and posting it everywhere is the only way to grow. And even then, like if your content sucks, then nobody's going to see it anyway. Sometimes I posted a video I put a lot of effort in, nobody saw it. Sometimes I posted a video I made in like 30 seconds, no effort, and it got over like 3,000 views. Sometimes you can't make content because you don't have the time, or maybe you might not have ideas and you got to sit there and brainstorm. But for the most part, the best thing for growing on Twitch, or the best streaming time, I would say, not just growing on Twitch, because that's going to be subjective. Everybody's path is different. What works for one person may not work for another. The best thing about streaming for certain times or for certain hours is just whatever works for you. It's like going out to work out in the gym. If you're working out, I was just having a conversation about this with a few other friends the other day. If you're working out 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, I know some people who work out 4 hours a day, and that works for them because they can do it, but they might have better and optimal gains if they were to do half that time. An hour max, maybe, if they're just sitting here going through the workout consistently at a decent rate, or maybe even 30 minutes. Some people, all they got to do is like go to the gym once or twice a week and then walk the rest, and they're fine. The following will make followers for you eventually. Essentially, yeah. It's like, if I don't know who you are, how am I supposed to find you? I got TikTok, I'm not sure how to start streaming there. I'm not even necessarily going to say you have to even stream on TikTok. Streaming on TikTok is something that can be great for growth, because the more people, actually TikTok pushes streaming so heavily. It's kind of like the opposite there, where if you start streaming on TikTok, people are going to see you regardless. The exposure you get there is unmatched on any other platform. There's almost always people scrolling through their phones and someone's going to randomly see you. The hardest part on TikTok is getting people to stay. But if you don't know how to stream on TikTok, just take cuts of your regular streams on Twitch and YouTube and post them to TikTok. Some places, if you do multi-streaming, like if you go through Restream or stream, what is it, SE Live, Stream Elements, they have a plugin that lets you multi-stream to like Twitch, YouTube, and other different platforms. And if you go through TikTok with them, they'll actually give you a TikTok key if you wanted to stay on OBS to stream to TikTok. The only reason I don't is mainly because it's hard to moderate content on TikTok, and there can be some weirdos there. There's weirdos on every platform, but I've streamed on TikTok before. I didn't really like the audience there, streaming wise. I still think it's one of the best platforms for growth, and that if you're seeking to grow and become a bigger streamer, you should definitely post to TikTok. You should definitely post as many platforms as you can consistently, but TikTok is one of the big ones you need to post there, because it's great for exposure and growth. It's wonderful for exposure and growth. YouTube is now just catching up with getting smaller streamers content out there within the last, like, I want to say few months, like year and some change actually. But as far as exposure, definitely post to TikTok if you can, if you're seeking to grow a following. It doesn't even have to be like a super crazy clip. It could be something that happened in the last 30 seconds. And then you see how it did. If people like it, post more of that. People don't like it, see if it was just maybe the time you posted it, if it was just the video, maybe the content itself isn't good, but you want to just get into the habit of posting. Because even if you start posting consistently and your content isn't good starting out, as long as you're taking some type of feedback and doing introspectives and looking at the content you're posting, you'll end up doing better anyway. You may not explode in popularity, but growing at a steady rate is better than nothing. Me and Jim gotta go this evening. Stop being lazy. Been on a Zipping. I've already lost 13 pounds so far. Well, I hope the weight loss is a positive thing. I'm not too familiar with Ozempic, but I hope that's been going well for you, Kiba. But I will say, even if you can't make it to the gym, if you can, start trying to do some workouts at home. You know, some basic calisthenics would do a lot more for people than what they take credit for, because a couple push-ups, some sit-ups, maybe even like running on a treadmill, taking a few walks around the block, jumping rope. Those always do wonders for you as well. Like I said, anything you can do consistently is a great thing. But yeah, to answer your question, Wolf, I hope that adds some insight and some, what's the word for it? Clarity on the situation, on the matter. I don't know if you're asking for you, if you're asking for a friend, if you're just curious. But yeah, 3 hours for 3 days a week isn't bad. Most people I know stream 3 days a week. There are a lot of bigger streamers who only stream 3 days a week. I know a streamer who was super huge, who built his following mainly off of content, who only streamed 2 hours out the day. He would stop at 2 hours on the dot every time. But he made a lot of content, and this is mainly during the COVID era where he got his following there and then went on from there. Really, the hardest part is staying consistent. No matter what you do, if you cannot stay consistent, you probably won't be doing this for a long time. And not even saying that everybody's trying to grow and everybody's trying to make this like a huge career or anything like that. But if you're someone who just wants to have some form of success, consistency is the key. When people say it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, as cliche as it is the truth. There are a lot of people who do a lot early on, build these giant followings, but they can't maintain them because they burn themselves out and they build unrealistic expectations for themselves. You got to do whatever helps you maintain what you're doing. And of course, make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. Because there are trolls out here. There are people who leave mean comments. And most people like to say that words don't affect them and words are just words. But words can do a lot. Eventually, the trolls, if you're like in a bad spot in life, or even if you're in a good spot of life, sometimes it does get to you. Sometimes somebody might catch you on an off day. They might say the wrong thing. You might act out of character. Or maybe it's in character for you. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're doing whatever you can to stay consistent, make it, I'm not going to say optimize the fun, but whatever you can do to stay consistent, make sure it stays fun. Sometimes taking a break helps with burnout as well. Well, that is the cure to burnout. That's one of them, at least. Doing nothing, which is always weird, because if you're feeling burnt out, you're like, oh man, when you start taking a break due to doing too much and you do nothing, it's like, well, now I'm not doing anything. And some people have an issue with that. But yeah. Gotcha, Wolf. But I'd say that's the best piece of advice I can give. If I had to give you the Sparks Notes version, if that's what works consistently for you, if that's as much time as you can give it, do that. And make some content on the side and post it. And then actually watch the content. Like, look at the content. I know some people don't like to watch themselves stream. Some people don't like to look back at their actual, what's the word for it, streams, and then critique themselves. But then worst come to worst is you don't want somebody thinking the worst of you and not telling you. Because some people are afraid to give criticism, when in reality all they're thinking is that,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
so you got to be careful about that too. There are some people who won't give you criticism because they want to protect your feelings. Those are the people doing you a disservice. You want to make sure anybody you have around you, if they're giving criticism, it's constructive. You don't want someone who's only tearing you down and then never builds you up, but you don't want somebody who's only building you up and never tearing you down. You want people who's going to give it to you straight. You want someone to be like, oh, hey, well, your audio wasn't the best today, or you didn't have any game audio, preferably while the stream is on. Because I've seen that happen to where people will be streaming for like 30 minutes to an hour and they have no game audio and nobody says anything. And while it's not their job to, you would expect the people who rock with a streamer or care about that streamer and be a follower of that streamer to actually like let them know they don't have game audio. Most people are there for the streamer, but I'm not the only one who could probably say it's a little off-putting not hearing any game audio when you're seeing someone play a game. But yeah, let me get back to this article. Let me get back through this some more. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, so along with this new biome, the update has also introduced a bug phobia mode for people who don't want to see spiders and other multi-legged insects on their climbing runs. You can also now navigate peak settings of the controller, and the developers are promising better performance in the game. This major update comes just a couple weeks after peak added cannibalism. Oh yeah, well yeah, you guys know. I think I read this article not too long ago. But apparently, wait, jealousy was one of the driving forces for making the game? I just gotta see. Game came together after a month-long game jam. I'll read this article another time. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I had one when you first started out on Elden Ring where I spent 2 hours talking to myself and realized my cat gnawed the cord before stream. Jesus. I hate to see it, man. I'd say that's one of the biggest things too. Audio is one of the most important features of a stream because there's so many people who may be using you as background noise and may have you tabbed up here and there. It may not even be looking at your face while you're streaming. Like, just how you were saying now, you're listening intently. The best thing you can do for any Twitch stream, anything at all, is to always balance and check your audio. That is one of the most important things when it comes to streaming. I know, like me, you know, I'm just someone with a small following, so I don't want to say like this is absolutely gospel, this is what you have to do, because I'm not someone who's super big. This isn't my career. I don't want it to be either. But what's the word for it? Audio is such a big part of streaming because, like I said before, there's so many people who just listen to you, and if you can be part of someone's day even just as background noise, that's still big, because that's still watch time for you. That's still people taking out the time out of their day to listen to you speak and listen to you do something or support you and rock with you. And that's something you can't buy. People have tried. People have absolutely tried. That, you know, there are some bigger streamers who do view botting who have gotten to that point in life where they're like, oh, this guy's stream is always on and popping. They have like 10,000 people here at all times, but only like 5 or 10 people are ever actually saying anything. And of those 5 or 10 people, they might not even be there because they actually like the streamer. They might be there just because the streamer has a big following and they just happen to see them. But yeah, I think audio is one of the most important parts of the stream, just because how many people will immediately react negatively if you have bad audio. Like, imagine a streamer if you're talking and nobody can barely hear you, or my audio is constantly peaking. The game might be too low. The game might not have any audio. The game's audio might be too loud and you guys can't hear me, so we can't have a conversation at all. Can't get that parasocial aspect of the stream going. For some people, if they're weird. But yeah, I definitely say anything with like audio, anything you can do to show why you're different, to show your production value, to like that. If anything, I'd say that's where most of my money went, is going towards audio, with the microphone and the Go XLR audio mixer, because I wanted something to keep the audio's level, the audio volumes at a certain level. That's why every time I speak, the game gets quieter and then goes right back up because I added audio ducking, stuff like that, which you can do with any source. Like, let's say if every time I want to talk, if I wasn't keeping the music at a certain volume, I want the music to go under me, I would do that same thing. That's what I used to do when I started streaming during the pandemic. And then I realized it's just a lot easier to leave it at a certain volume, so I wouldn't have to constantly go back and forth between ducking audio and the music being louder than me, because sometimes the music was louder than the game. Yeah, it's one of those foundational things of streaming skills I think is a big important. Obviously, things like learning how to talk to people. Like, even me, contrary to popular belief, I have a lot of social anxiety. I dislike talking to people, and streaming was one of the things that kind of helped me manage it a little better. Like, when I went to that interview, one of the really biggest reasons I started out streaming in the suit and everything already is so I wouldn't stutter and be as nervous during the interview, because it's just public speaking for a reason, or one reason or another, is one of the biggest fears that anybody can have. It even beats dying. People would rather die than speak in public, like how we're doing now, in front of a crowd of people, which is one of the reasons why speech classes are so important, because it taught me a lot too about public speaking and helped me curb that even more. Being able to control a conversation, if you're someone who has social anxiety or someone who's introverted, is such a big skill, because knowing when to end a conversation and how to end a conversation and whether or not you need to or don't need to respond to a person is big. Or speaking to someone and just kind of avoiding those situations entirely, or kind of managing your exposure to a conversation where you really don't want to have one, because some people struggle with saying I don't want to talk to you the right way, and they're afraid of being considered, you know, like an asshole or saying the wrong thing, which might add even more anxiety, because you're like, man, I really don't want to have this conversation, but I don't know how to socially acceptably tell this person I don't want to talk to them without offending them, and then it becomes a whole thing. So that can definitely, oh yeah, now I can relate to that too, Kiba. Having a bad stream and having a stream that was absolutely terrible, or putting out a video that flops, the best thing you can take away from it is the things that you did wrong and what you rather would have gone right, and that anything you do afterwards can only get better. As long as you're aware and as long as you're trying to make that change, you can only do better than what you did before. And of course, the best thing to do after a bad stream is to come back and kill the next one, or just have a good one. Like, I had some awful streams where there were nothing but technical issues going wrong the whole time. Like things are shutting down, sound alerts aren't going off, I'm not getting any alerts, got raided and then didn't say anything to anybody because you don't realize you got raided. It's unbelievable. And then things just constantly break. Sometimes the stream might shut down due to bad internet. Sometimes you might have somebody walking in the background who you don't notice, who might be in their underwear. That's happened to people I've seen, which has always been really wild. But the most important part is you just learn from your mistakes as you would with anything else in life, and don't beat yourself up too much about it. You always want to make sure you're giving yourself just as much grace as you would somebody else. Let me go on to the next article. And practice makes perfect. Unless you're consistently practicing badly. then it's a problem. If you're practicing and you're continuously doing mistakes while practicing, then you're gonna have the same issues as when you go live. First stream was bad in the sense that your audio was way too low and the game volume was really high and didn't even notice, but you had a few friends on stream letting you know what to adjust. See, that's always a great thing. Sounds like you got some solid friends who will let you know. There are some people who are out here who will just leave you out high and dry and won't say anything for fear of offending you. It won't really help you. Metro, really? Did you end up beating it? Never seen a girl with a good personality? All right, that's a little weird. Okay. How you doing, Sigurd? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you popping in. I hope this is all in good faith and good fun, but Metro Exodus is a great game. Yeah, Metro Exodus is wonderful. We're just discussing some gaming news, streaming tips, things of that nature. But yeah, just as a disclaimer, this is not a woman bashing stream. We love women over here. We respect women. We take care of women. We protect the women we love and we care about. We hug our moms around these parts. But let's go on to read this headline, this article. Apparently Rockstar Games is working closely with Remedy Entertainment and Max Payne 1 and 2. By the way, that was so crazy. I read that and I was like, oh Lord. Black women, yes! Gotta give it up for the Black Queens, man. We love them, we love them, we love them. But yeah, apparently Remedy Entertainment is working with Rockstar on a Max Payne 1 and 2 remake, which is really dope. These games I think are long overdue for a remake, 3 included. But apparently the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake is still moving along nicely, according to Remedy in its 2025 half-year financial report. It's also been revealed that Rockstar Games and Remedy Entertainment are teaming up for the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake. And Remedy's work on the original Max Payne games was exceptional. Both games sold well and became iconic for their revolutionary bullet time feature, which is popularized by The Matrix, and their unique presentation and style. Remedy handed over the franchise to Take-Two, leading to Rockstar Games handling Max Payne 3, which was another success. I really enjoyed Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3 is one of those underrated games that actually had good multiplayer elements to them, and it was really fun. I think we're long overdue for a remake of these games. But apparently they went into production around 2023, and the game is went on full production around 2024. So 2023 is when they tossed around the idea of it, and 2024 is when they started working on it. And it remains in full production so far. Oh my god, he was so blocky back then. But Remedy's half-year financial report, January-June 2025, covered many aspects of Remedy, including upcoming projects. There was a new update in the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake, which revealed a cool detail. The Max Payne 1 and 2 remake project continues its progress and remains in full production. In the second quarter, the team built on steady momentum from earlier in the year. Collaboration with Rockstar Games remains close and productive, ensuring alignment as the project advances towards its next major phase. And this means both of Max Payne's key developers are working together on the project. It's unclear if this is a 50-50 split on the workload or how much input either team is contributing. Yeah, because we still have Rockstar working on GTA 6, so you would think it's all hands on deck. So I do wonder how they were able to find room for people to go back and kind of help them work on Max Payne. But regardless, long-term Max Payne fans should rest easy knowing Remedy and Rockstar Games are in the case. Can the two companies synergize perfectly to recapture the Max Payne magic? Or do you think there could be some cross wires? I'm only slightly worried because of the way they remastered the first couple Grand Theft Auto games. Like the way they did GTA 3, San Andreas, and I think it was Vice City. Or was it 1? I don't know if they did 1 already. But with how that definitive edition went, I do hope they didn't outsource for this at all, which it doesn't sound like they did, because they outsourced for that original remake because Rockstar, I guess, just didn't want to do it themselves. Or I should say remasters, not remake. But we're gonna have to see how this goes, because this is a remake apparently, so I do wonder how much will be changing in between the two remakes. Another not so good news. It's just more so like light news. It's not anything like major. But there's been a Pal World lookalike that has appeared on the Nintendo store. And it's a game that bears a striking resemblance to Pocket Pair's popular survival crafting title, Pal World, and it's been spotted on the Nintendo store. So Nintendo, if you guys don't know, famously made some patents because Pal World looks strikingly similar to obviously the creatures from Pokemon and what they were doing. And now Nintendo has a game in the store that seems to be doing just the same here. But unlike Pal World, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens here, because this is coming from the Nintendo store itself. So I do wonder what's gonna be the legal move here if Pocket Pair actually does choose to respond. Nintendo as well, yeah. They said, you know what? Anything to give Pal World some more trouble, right? Keep in mind, Nintendo made these patents for these game mechanics after Pal World had already came out to try and stop their success, to try and stop them from eating. A company that does not with its own fans is now trying to with another company and has another company in their store ripping off the competition.
It's unbelievable.
You can't make this up. You just can't. This is truly the darkest timeline. If fans gonna love it though, you already know. You already know. You already know. They're still fighting this patent infringement claim. This lawsuit, they're still going through this lawsuit. But yeah, let's go on and see what else is happening here. Nintendo, of course, alleged that Pal World was infringed on 3 of their patents that they conveniently made after the game was already out. But now a game that feels like a lookalike of Pal World is available for purchase at the Nintendo store. Nintendo's so petty, bro. Pal Land and Pal World. Pal Land and Pal World look eerily similar. Oh god. Spotted by Games Radar, a new listing for Pal Land has appeared on the Nintendo store, and from the outset, players will notice many similarities. We went from we got Pokemon at home to we got Pal World at home. If Pal Land wasn't a big giveaway already, the key art and gameplay screenshots feature a similar red-haired woman we've seen in Pal World screenshots with different types of creatures. However, the art style of the games between the two is slightly different. Coming in the description, here's where players will see more similarities between Pal Land and Pal World. The description states that Pal Land features a world with captivating survival, building, and exploration, where players choose how to gather resources, expand your shelter, and deal with wild creatures that can both be threats and valuable sources of power. How much do y'all think Nintendo paid them to do this? If you were to tell a kid or a grandparent this was Pal World, they would believe you. I wouldn't blame you if you thought this was something somebody made in Roblox. Because this looks, look at the flying creature here. Does this not look similar to Charmander or Charizard? It looks like a somewhat of a fusion between the two. This is crazy. A Pal Land has been priced at $9.99, $3.99 on discount to August 14th. and is available as a digital game for Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2. Boggysoft has published the game and it was released July 31st, 2025. And in other news, Nintendo's modified a patent amid the ongoing Power lawsuit. Additionally, here's what you need to know about the Terraria collaboration and what are your thoughts on Power look like, pal. This is crazy. This is crazy. So a developer who clearly was inspired by Pokemon went on to make their own game. It did really well. Nintendo said,
Is this nigga serious?
decides to make up some patents to sue them. And now in their own Nintendo store, they have somebody ripping off the competition they're currently trying to sue for ripping off their own game. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. But we're gonna have to wait and see what else happens with that. Where else this goes. How this proceeds. Let me see what else I got for y'all here. We have some more FPC Firebreak news. If you guys aren't aware, this comes from the same team that made Control and other games like that. I believe Quantum Break as well. Stream Deck putting in work today. You know, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Trying to make these news segments just a little more interesting. Got inspired by the Black Okage, so trying to do something different here. And other streamers too, like streamers like Young, yeah, or Reforged Gaming, Luke Stevens, people who just like read gaming news but don't just read it in the same monotone and in the same way, kind of put their own input and their own spin on things as well. I think because that's like really makes it different. But yeah, so FPC Firebreak, which was actually one of the more creative games we've seen released this year, just didn't seem to be hitting the audience it needed to hit. The launch was deemed unsatisfying and it underperformed, but there is a major update coming. Then, luckily, the update isn't about the game shutting down for once when the game isn't doing so well, which is nice. But this article goes on to say you can't deny FPC Firebreak is ambitious, which it is, even if it is a game no one was necessarily clamoring for. The latter part of this is now evident as Remedy has given deeper insight into FPC Firebreak's underwhelming launch and plans for the IP. I do think this is going to be the hardest part of the game. Oh yeah, they made Alan Wake as well. Was this game finding an audience? Because immediately when it came out, I was like, this looks cool, but I didn't know who it was for. But this is Remedy's first new release since the Game of the Year contending Alan Wake 2. Firebreak is set and controls another Remedy IP world and is a team-based FPS. It's quite a bold shift from the company's other games, and we've seen some gameplay and matches that the game has potential, but its launch has failed to land. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of themes from like the SCP Foundation and Control where you have all these different anomalies inside the facility and people kind of like experimenting with them, trying to find out more about them. Different things like teleporting unicorn statues to red hiss that seems to be possessing people and causing them to turn violent, to a gun that makes you the leader of the facility if you're in possession of it and gives you the previous holder's memories. Like it's a game that has a lot going on and actually has a lot of different themes. So it seems like you're part of a cleanup crew who seems to be hunting these anomalies as well, and like a co-op shooter. But the launch just hasn't done so well so far. But it's dropping a major update next month in September. Well, let's see here what we got going on. This is the official word, by the way, from Remedy's January through June 2025 financial support. On Steam, which is planned as the primary consumer sales channel on PC, the launch underperformed, and the game's initial onboarding experience and mission structure resulted in high early player drop-offs and an influx of negative reviews. Because the game did have some problems when it fully released, but they worked really fast to fix a lot of them. But you know, some people, first impressions are everything. So if your game isn't immediately working, especially with so many games coming out this year, most people are going to drop your game and not come back to it. So it's very hard to get people to try your game again after having a negative experience in this day and age, because not everybody has that amount of time or money to give every game a try. But the company was happy that the launch succeeded technically, as it reached over 1 million players in the first 10 days, but they went on to say commercially they were unsatisfied with the launch phase consumer sales of FPC Firebreak. The majority of the shooter's revenue has come from Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus subscribing users. Firebreak was free on both services at launch. And nevertheless, despite the adversity, Remedy believes that FPC Firebreak is a solid game and that the team can build on, which they're going to say, looking ahead, a larger major update late September will be the next key step for FPC Firebreak. This will be supported by targeted marketing activities, which we expect to drive interest in the title. And we are committed to continuing to work on the FPC Firebreak, engaging with community and explaining the game. So we're hoping that they can bounce back. We're hoping that they can do something different, that they can come back from this. because it would be a shame to see another creative game just kind of come out and then not experience anything, any type of success. Like, well, we have Rumbleverse, which came out, which unfortunately didn't do well enough financially, and all I hear nowadays is how many people wish that game would have came back. A game like Knockout City, which suffered from the same issue. If you guys remember the dodgeball game, that was fun. A lot of people built their channels around it, and that game shut down. Multiverses, a game that came out and unreleased, then came out again, failed as well. But that was mostly due to how the game actually went and the people running the game rather than the community. Splitgate 2, another example of a game that's kind of like fell off, that's come out that they had to unrelease and work on again. But I blame the CEO for that one. So we're hoping FBC Firebreak can actually come back from this. Hopefully maybe they could be a success story. Maybe we can get another Cyberpunk, another Rainbow Six Siege, another For Honor, another No Man's Sky, hopefully here. Which this game didn't come out in the poor state that a lot of those other games did. But it had its issues, and we're hoping that they can just turn it around. But some good news from Remedy Entertainment is that Control 2 is in development, and it has an update for Remedy as the series has crossed 5 million copies sold. And of course, they've been distracted by other games in recent years, but Control 2 is one of the company's biggest upcoming projects. And not only have we learned new details about the game's progress, but the company has also announced a huge milestone for the franchise. Control felt interesting into the game's final. Well, yeah. Let's get this. Let's see what we got about Control 2. But they say the development for Control 2 is on track. In the 2025 Remedy half-year financial report told us several things. Rockstar and Remedy were working on Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes together. Control franchise has passed 5 million copies sold in its lifetime, and Control 2 is coming along nicely. But the official word on Control 2's development is that Control 2 development is on track towards meeting its next milestones. The focus is now on the gameplay, environments, and missions, which is what we love to hear. Work continues on developing the game into a strong commercial offering. But the next milestones could be an official reveal trailer, or even a gameplay reveal right out of the gate. And they go on to say that they think it's safe to assume from this that we are still quite some ways off from Control 2 hitting shelves and digital storefronts though. But one thing's for sure, Remedy has a lot on its plate with FBC Firebreak, the Max Payne remake, and Control 2. I actually really like Control. Control was a dope game. This was something that actually did something unique and interesting, which a lot of people were just kind of like waiting to see a game with powers and then as a shooter. The game that story was like decent, and the actual powers that you got throughout the game are pretty nice as well. We got a few more articles for you guys, and then we'll get in one gameplay trailer, and then we'll start playing some Demon Souls. I don't know if you guys remember this lawsuit that was currently going on, but it's featuring the Subnautica 2 developers, which had a lawsuit against Krafton after Krafton came in and laid off a large portion of the staff working underneath and for Subnautica 2 to finish the game. And originally, the ex-Subnautica 2 developers had claimed that Krafton took them off the game because they didn't want to pay out their employees their bonuses, and they were making good progress in the game, so they wanted to cut out a large portion of people's bonuses for the game and make sure that it couldn't hit deadlines, so they would have to pay people out, as well as firing some people for some BS reasons. But Krafton is actually responding to this lawsuit, to these allegations, and say that it's because they resorted to litigation to demand a payday they haven't earned. So let's get into this. Let's see what's going on here, because this is a giant mess that kind of came out of nowhere. A lot of people, like including myself, are excited for Subnautica 2 because they added co-op to the game. So people were hoping that this was going to turn out really well. But Krafton has issued a response, of course, saying that they resorted to litigation to demand a multi-million-dollar payout that they haven't earned. This is a rebuttal of the Subnautica 2's developers. But this comes in reply to a legal complaint filed by former Unknown World CEO Ted Gill and fellow co-founders Charlie Cleveland and Max McGuire. This happened last month. But in it, the former leads alleged that Krafton went out of its way to hinder Subnautica 2's development, delay the game, and ultimately fire them from their roles, all in an effort to stop them and other employers from collecting a $250 million bonus payment that would have kicked in if the game's early access released on time later this year and reached certain sales milestones. So yeah, it was supposed to release in early access later this year. They not only fired them, but also delayed the game to 2026. But in its response, Krafton says the game was planned for a Q1 2024 release. However, Cleveland and McGuire abandoned their roles as studio-wide game director and technical director to focus on their personal passion projects and quit making games for Unknown Worlds entirely. and Gil, who remained focused on leveraging his operational control to maximize the earnout payment rather than developing a successful game. Words are hard. But Crafton goes on to allege that by 2023, Unknown Worlds' development director had commented on the founders being checked out, and that Cleveland in particular has stated publicly, oh, I lost my place here. Let me go back down here. He had abandoned video games to pursue filmmaking. The release date of Subnautica slipped to 2024 and then 2025, which is an internal assessment of the first playable in March of 2024, made clear that the team had failed to deliver on their promise of developing sufficiently new content. But rather than roll up their sleeves and make the game they had promised, the key employees blamed others and overhauled the team. Crafton also says that the leads continue reducing the scope of the game over time. The response says that by spring 2025, Crafton was trying to stop them from releasing the game, saying it was not ready. However, Crafton alleges the leads tried to release it anyway in order to get their maximum earnout. Crafton, fearing how an underbaked early access of Subnautica 2 would be received by both existing fans and the broader market, urged Cleveland and McGuire to return to their post to generate a market-ready product that would not disappoint fans. Cleveland and McGuire declined. In response to Crafton's request for the key employees to return to lead development of Subnautica 2, Gil stated that there's no coming back to a job they didn't have. Crafton further alleges that the lead said they would self-publish the game without Crafton, and that they downloaded massive amounts of confidential information from Unknown Worlds. This whole entire thing is just a mess. It's hard to believe anybody on either side, really. But the key employees' insistence on releasing the game immediately was singularly driven by self-interest in obtaining the earnout. At every turn during development, the key employees were laser focused on avoiding a timeline that doesn't tank their earnout opportunity and scheduling a release to maximize their payments. Conversations throughout the post-acquisition period make clear the key employees' focus was on their payday and not the game. As early as 2022, an employee who was due to receive a portion of the earnout stated that despite significant delays in the game, he was confident Ted Gill will somehow concoct a scheme to get us that earnout. Jeez. The response goes on to issue answers to every claim in the founder's lawsuit, paragraph by paragraph. Crafton asks the court to rule in its favor, deny the founder's claim for relief, and award Crafton costs, including attorney fees. And this began all the way back in July when Crafton seemingly out of the blue announced to replace Unknown Worlds leads with former Strike and Distance CEO Steve. I have no idea how to pronounce his last name. But in the weeks that followed, reports emerged surrounding the $250 million bonus promised to staff, amid questions asked of whether that payout would be honored. All the Subnautica 2 leads claimed in various statements and in their lawsuit that Crafton had tried to delay Subnautica 2 and ultimately fired them to avoid paying them the bonus. And of course, Crafton, as we saw before, accused them of neglecting their duties, saying the game wasn't ready. So we don't know, actually. We apparently have some leaked documents since they were verified by Crafton, confirming that Unknown Worlds was receiving feedback from the publisher that the game was not ready for early access launch. However, a report from Bloomberg suggests this may not have been wholly true. So I guess we're kind of just going to have to wait and see how this whole lawsuit turns out. It really is just a messy situation, because Subnautica 2 is one of those games that had cult followings. I know it was a game that gave people who had thalassophobia a really hard time. You know, the deep fear of, I want to say open water, right? That has no sign of stopping, like the ocean. Yeah, intense and persistent fear of deep bodies of water such as ocean, seas, and large lakes. So it was a great game for that, and a great game for different people to explore and get into the ocean, and it was pretty nice. Had an actual story, some decent lore, some crazy monsters you can run into. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But unfortunately, something we're not gonna see is a Dragon Age Trilogy remaster, as a pitch was delivered to EA about a Dragon Age Trilogy remaster, one of the most beloved trilogies in BioWare's backlog of RPGs. But apparently EA said no. After the Veilguard bombed, people immediately cited Origins, Dragon Age 2, and even Inquisition as being way better than Veilguard, because it completely, if you're a Dragon Age fan and if you've played these Dragon Age games, the Veilguard is not a good Dragon Age game. It's not really a great RPG either. There are some quality of life features that got people playing who enjoyed the game, but if you're a longtime fan of BioWare, the writing, the characters, and just the world of Dragon Age in general, the Veilguard, it did not hit. It did not hit for a lot of longtime Dragon Age fans. I believe on Metacritic, the critic score was 82, but the actual audience score was like 3.9. It didn't do financially well, and there were just videos just bashing the game straight up. But Apparently, the studio must avoid open warfare over resources. Let's go on and see what may have like caused this issue. But a trilogy remaster of the first 3 Dragon Age games was pitched by BioWare to EA, but the publisher is against remasters and basically seems to be against free money as per the quote here. That's according to Dragon Age series veteran Mark Dara, who was interviewed by YouTuber Mr. Matty Plays. Dara was executive producer on the first 3 games, but has since left BioWare. And that's another thing too. Unfortunately, a lot of talent who did work in these old beloved franchises. The first 3 Mass Effect games, Jade Empire, the first 3 Dragon Age games, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. All those titles, a lot of those writers and a lot of those people at BioWare are gone. So this doesn't fully surprise me that EA said no to the original remaster of the original trilogy. But the studio's Mass Effect games received a trilogy remaster and a Legendary Edition released in 2021. So why hasn't Dragon Age received the same treatment? And here's the video in case anybody wants that. Let me know. I can drop a link to the article or the video. But the director went on to discuss why sci-fi series was favored by EA. It goes on to say the problem was Dragon Age has had, charitably I guess, would be to say that EA wants mainstream success and it's hard, or at least it has historically been hard for corporate people who come from sports, the sports side of organization, to look at a game like Dragon Age Origins, which is super nerdy, not very attractive looking, and say this is a mainstream game. But they don't see it. For Dragon Age, they look at Mass Effect, they can see it. There's just been a lot of difficulty with them. There's always been a push for Dragon Age to be more mainstream, more accessible. So it's always had this either pressure to be something different or more, in the case of something like Inquisition, a reaction to that. A remaster of the first 3 Dragon Age games was soft pitched by BioWare and was to be released as the Champions trilogy. However, Dura said EA is against remasters, though doesn't know why. It's strange for a publicly traded company. They basically seem to be against free money. Yeah, you would think a company who loves like releasing things half-baked, selling people things that they don't really need, and banking on nostalgia would be all for a remaster. But the other issue is that a Dragon Age remaster would be harder to achieve than Mass Effect, in part because the 3 games are made in different engines. As such, a Dragon Age remaster would either need to be done by a different team, the studio even considered hiring a mod house, or it would need to be done in-house. But then that brings the issues of resources, which were already split at BioWare between the Mass Effect team and the Dragon Age team working on Veilguard. No further resources were available for additional remastered trilogy. And Dora believes BioWare will work better as a studio of one project at a time to avoid open warfare over resources. This matches comments made by Dragon Age creator David Geider, who also since left the company. That staff working on 2 franchises didn't get along. It does, however, bring into question the future of the Dragon Age series after the poor reception of Veilguard. I think there are more games to be made there, but I'm not sure how it gets started right now. And in an interview with Eurogamer after the release of Veilguard, series creator director John Epler admitted it was never going to match Dragon Age 4 in people's minds and imaginations. I think we could kind of see after Inquisition it was going in a different direction. Inquisition wasn't bad. It wasn't quite what people in Dragon Age were hoping for. Like, it was still a decent game, but the Veilguard, I think, just outright was just not the game anybody was looking for, especially as a follow-up to Inquisition. Whereas Inquisition, people could see the vision, people could see what they were setting up and how things were being done. The newest game, Veilguard, just completely 180s in a different direction. If you're a fighting game player, the thing I would compare it to is Season 1 of Tekken 8 and then Season 2 of Tekken 8, which if you ask any Tekken 8 player, they would say, my God, we were completely awful and ungrateful for how Season 1 was compared to how Season 2 is. But speaking of fighting games, we actually have some Street Fighter 6 news, which is a fighting game that has been doing really, really well and has been seemed to be getting a lot more mainstream attention. Out of the big 3, which are Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter, you know, household names. Most fighting game players are going to have a copy of at least quite a few of these different games in their house or know what you're talking about. These are the ones that kind of like break out past just a different hardcore gamer appeal. Most people know about Street Fighter, most people know about Tekken, and most people know about Mortal Kombat, of course. Mortal Kombat being the McDonald's of fighting games. Tekken, same equivalent of playing bass if you're black. If you're black, you can play Tekken, is the common sentiment apparently. But Street Fighter 6 has hit a crazy high peak player count more than 2 years after launch thanks to Sagat and the new custom DLC launch. Though it's reached even bigger numbers twice in 2025. If you guys don't know, this is partially due to the Gunnar costumes as per this screenshot. You have a returning legacy character Sagat and a new outfit for swimsuits, which if you guys aren't familiar with the new swimsuits, let me type this up in the tab because I don't want to pull up anything inappropriate. Because if you just type in Street Fighter 6 swimsuits, you might catch a couple cosplayers or people who might be doing NSFW cosplays. Gooner, you say? Why is that the moment you come in, Morty? Morty. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. But yes, Gooner skins. Street Fighter is like, you know what? We want more money. And how do we get more money? We know exactly what we gotta do. Put Chun-Li in a swimsuit. Put Kimberly in a swimsuit. Put Aki in a swimsuit. Put Manon in a swimsuit. More swimsuits. Because you know who's gonna pay for it? Gooners. Let me stop. What's up, Peps? Hope you're both doing well. But yeah, you know, this is the infinite money glitch. This is what they did. This is partially maybe be impacting the numbers of the game, but really Street Fighter 6 is just a really good game. It's a game that's been doing a very delicate balance. They had a clear vision of what they wanted the game to perform like, what they wanted the game to be like, and Capcom has just been doing nothing but supporting this game, at least in terms of like, it may not be the best support that people are asking for in terms of costumes for characters and new characters maybe hopping in or shaking up the meta for the gameplay itself, but they've been really hitting it out the park with community events. They've been working with other people to form different tournaments. They've been putting their game on the main stages. They've been releasing just different forms of DLC for the avatar battles and crossovers. So it's crazy. Are the guys in swimsuits too? Some of them. Like we do have this Luke one. I'm trying to find like a outfit with everybody who's in swimsuits, but it's only certain characters, right? I believe this is everybody who did get the swimsuit treatment. Like, you know, we did get Luke, we did get Jamie in a swimsuit, you know, with the slutty race line right here. But yeah, this is all we got. Everybody else is mainly the women who got the swimsuit treatment. They gave Cammy a tan and tan lines. They were just like, yep, $1 million right there. If you're at any point curious as to what's funding these Capcom cups in the near future, you've seen firsthand where the money is coming from and where it's going. But let me stop. I'm not ultra serious about this, but yeah, so Street Fighter 6 appears to be the undisputed king of fighting games in the current generation of titles, and things show no signs of slowing down as Capcom rolls through their third season of content. They just unveiled, you know, Sagat, C Viper, Alex, Ingrid. I believe that's the 4 characters we're getting this season. Sagat is already currently in the game and he's fire. C Viper, which hasn't made an appearance since the 4th game of Street Fighter, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about. It's this character right here. I spelled Viper wrong. This character right here who hasn't been seen since the 4th game in the series. People really miss this character. She was one of the fan favorites. Really hard to use and played really differently, but this is everybody's art for the next season. All the characters coming out. After C Viper, it'll be Alex and then Ingrid's the last one. I believe C Viper is supposed to be coming out sometime this year too, in the near future towards the fall. So be looking out for her between now and October. I'd say at the latest November. And then Alex sometime in the winter. So we'll be looking for him towards February next year. And then Ingrid sometime in the summer after that. So it could be anywhere between like a 3 to 4 month gap for some of these characters. But yeah, she was a fan favorite and people really love her redesign. They even gave her like some muscle definition. But yeah, just in case you guys can't see it that well, there's like her new outfit, her new costume. She's a really fun character, but you have to be really good to use her properly. Even a lot of pro players didn't play her because that's how hard her execution was. But this DLC, Sagat coming into the game, has also brought an impressive spike in active players at a rate at which we don't typically see for fighting games beyond their first year. Like a lot of different VTubers have actually been hopping into Street Fighter as well. So that might be something you're interested in. If you're a VTuber, Street Fighter 6 seems to be the fighting game to get into. Street Fighter and Tekken. Just because I think they're just the 2 most popular fighting games out right now. As vocal as the Tekken community is about hating their game, they still play it. There's still a lot of people playing, still a lot of people enjoying it. But the new content update release led to Street Fighter 6 hitting a whopping 50,604 concurrent players on PC, according to the data from Steam charts. And that equates to an increase of around 66% over the average daily peak player counts on Steam. So people are currently interested in checking out what's new in the game. So yeah, the all-time peak was 70,000, but recently they hit 50,000. And the game has only been getting more and more popular. It's very uncharacteristic for a fighting game. Keep in mind, Street Fighter 6 came out 2 years ago. This game is 2 years old, and it's still holding this much popularity. This is uncommon for a fighting game to do that. Keep in mind, 2 years is about the amount of time NetherRealm fully goes to a Mortal Kombat or Injustice game. 2 years is around their cutoff time for adding DLC and content to a game and then shutting the thing down entirely. This game is still going. But those numbers did quickly begin to drop back down closer towards the usual base, but remain thousands of users higher than the peak Street Fighter was seeing a month ago. So we're seeing some player retention, people hopping in, checking out the game and staying. But while Capcom must be pleased with the boost and continued interest in the game, this jump was just slightly lower than June's record, which hit 51,781 players. That's not especially surprising though, considering you'd expect more interest in a big seasonal update. So Sagat and the new costumes almost matching, that was still a pretty impressive feat. What is fascinating on the other hand is the highest peak of the year for Street Fighter 6 actually came with the release of Mai Shirinu, which hit a whopping 62,931 concurrent players on Steam in February. And Tekken 8 seems to be the closest rival to Street Fighter 6 in the traditional fighter space. They saw a peak of 8,312 PC players this month, with a tie this year being 16,000 users when Season 2 dropped. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves also saw a relative boost this month with the release of Kim Masters, but even that led to a peak of just 1,361 players. Fatal Fury unfortunately commercially bombed. It was not as much of a success, but it is a big hit with people who play fighting games in a hardcore way. Because SNK has always been more of an old school developer, and they're still having financial issues. And I think just their games are missing a lot of quality of life features and content that these other games do have. And Fatal Fury is a lot harder than some of these other games too, so a lot of beginners are less likely to try it. With things like modern and different control schemes and Street Fighter, and of course Special Style and Tekken, it's not fully surprising that more people are playing those two games, but it really is surprising just how successful and how popular Street Fighter is compared to all these other games right now. Let's see Mortal Kombat's numbers. Like, I'm not a Mortal Kombat hater by any means. Like, I loved X, I liked 11, but I just preferred X. 9 was cool too, and I did play a lot of the old school Mortal Kombat games, but 1 was just not that great. It doesn't seem like they're doing bad. They're doing better than they were previously, because NetherRealm has actually dropped some updates and content that have made the balance in the game better and have opened up the creativity and just different combo routes and things you could do. But unfortunately, it's just like right as the game was getting good, NetherRealm pulled the plug. Not NetherRealm, Warner Brothers pulled the plug, because NetherRealm had another combat pack to drop. And so this game could have been way better than what we ended up getting now. And it's just unfortunate because we'll never see it realize its full potential, because NetherRealm games, if you've been around for a minute, or just generally fighting games in the modern era, do get better over time, for the most part anyway. It's just truly unfortunate, but this is all happening despite some of the continued complaints leveraged against Street Fighter 6, like the slow content release schedule and underwhelming Season 3 update changes. If Tekken 8's problem was them shaking up the meta and systems too much, Street Fighter 6 is on the other side of the spectrum, where a lot of people are bored with the game because the game isn't really doing anything different mechanically. But with Capcom recently revealing that Street Fighter 6 has reached 5.2 million copies sold in 2 years, the developers likely aren't feeling too much pressure to change up their strategies for the game when it's clearly working out in their favor. Things could change in the future, of course, but people are and have been sticking with Street Fighter 6 in an unprecedented fashion. And of course, we still have new fighting games coming out like Marvel Tokon, 2XKO, and just a lot of other indie releases, some that have already come out and some that are coming out in the future as well. But that's the last of our gaming articles. Now we just have one last gaming trailer to show you guys, which is a game, I believe, from another Chinese developer called Wuchi the Wayfarer. I don't know what type of game this is going to be, but I saw it pop up. Some people have been looking at it. I don't know if it'll be another Soulsborne game, but let's see how this trailer goes. Then we can play some Demon Souls. Hey, yo. This ain't that type of hybrid. This ain't that type of party hybrid. I have no idea what's going on. I think it was just mainly a teaser, yeah. Like, this is one of those trailers where a lot's happening, but also not a lot happening at the same time.
참으로 정성이십니다.
Oh, that's cool. All right, jump scare. Uchida Wayfarer, huh? I wonder, like, when we're gonna be seeing more of this game. It was a really good looking teaser, but I just wonder what else they'll have. But yeah, let me actually... I will be right back real quick, y'all. I just need to get some water. Give me 1 second.
Alarm. Tsunami integrity has been breached. Scanning for virus. Viral entity identified. Joker. Viral removal program initiated.
What happens when a game becomes real and none of the rules apply? For a young sorcerer named Tsukasa, the virtual world of the game has become his reality.
Where am I?
Inside, Tsukasa can fight, make friends, feel pain.
Tsukasa.
The only thing he can't do is log out. Enter the world of God Hack Sai, premiering Saturday, February 1st at 3.
Let me go!
Hate the game, not the player.
Why me?
Only Toonami.
This place is a town of forgetfulness.
40 years ago, everything we knew was destroyed. The face of the planet changed forever.
There isn't anyone who really knows exactly what did happen.
The survivors left without memories. In the aftermath, a new society is formed.
I perform a much-needed job here in the city of amnesia.
In Paradigm City, the rich close themselves into giant domes, while the poor must live without protection. But one man stands for something more, and he does it in serious style.
As a professional, I just try to do my best.
His name is Roger Smith, the negotiator.
Try this.
Goes against my principles, but I don't have a choice.
His allies, an android, a butler,
It's up to me.
and Big O.
It's showtime!
When they start a job, they always see it through.
Rest in peace! Bye-bye!
Enemies of Paradigm City, beware. There's a new robot on the block.
You're not going anywhere! You crazy little fool! You're gonna get yourself killed! Time to finish this!
Big O, starting Monday, April 2nd at 5:30. Good guys still wear black. Only Toonami.
Hey there, it's your old pal Tom. Got some big news, but let's get the big guy to help me out.
Get ready.
Playtime is over for you girls.
Starting March 17th, Toonami's got the new deal.
Let's do it!
New Tom, new Absolution, new shows. Same old goodness. The battle begins with G Gundam at 5.
I've seen that technique.
5:30. All new Dragon Ball Z.
What I represent can never be destroyed.
6. The Spirit Detective Yu Yu Hakusho. And at 6:30, the figure of the Wandering Samurai, Rurouni Kenshin.
And so the true battle finally begins.
Ooh, it's so sweet.
He always makes it sound.
All right. change this around. And then let me actually go to the game menu. All right. They dropped the update for the Battlefield beta. Oh yeah, right. The Battlefield beta still happens again this weekend, right? Oh, let me change this title. Skip this. All right, let me go back to the prison. Have to go here to get some more healing items. There are mind flayers in this jail that I went to. I said, this is crazy. Where's the blacksmith?
Let's trade your souls.
Covers the ability of right hand. I'd go back and typically repair my stuff fairly often, so I don't think I need that. That's funny, hybrid. You guys still a calendar, got 6 months each. Also, have you had a chance to try Sagat out yet? I was fighting against one of his Honda, and I was like, man, I'm rusty. I think him and I played a total of 10 games. He won 5, I won 5. Just kept going neck and neck. Wait, somebody died in here? I don't like him, but can't wait to find... Oh yeah, more people to find more better ways to play him besides just playing him as another Shoto. English is hard. There's a mind flayer somewhere nearby, but I can't prove it. Yeah, I think you always have some people who kind of play on the classic style, you know. Nothing but the tiger projectiles, the occasional uppercut when you jump, zoning you out. The good thing I like about him though this time around is you can actually duck his fireballs, which doesn't make it too hard to actually jump over the other ones. You can actually advance on him pretty easily if he's not just spamming the low ones. What do you drop? Oh. I know there's a mind flayer somewhere nearby. I can't drop my guard like this. There's always a mind flayer nearby. Oh, they were both just waiting, huh? I don't know what like happened to these guys, like why all of them always try to attack you. Part of me feels bad for hitting them at first, but if I don't do this, they'll attack me first. Realize usually the high level matches drain the fun for you. Just want to go burr, but some people gotta have their precious neutral. What do you mean that everybody likes drive rushing half across the screen and just swinging their hands and hoping for the best? Yeah, it sounds like you're just missing some friends to play with, honestly. Unless you mean like your friends are the ones who just want to do high level neutral, which is always unfortunate. I had some friends like that just couldn't let themselves have fun. You gotta be like perfectionist. Everything's gotta be optimal. If it's not optimal, you're not doing it right. If a pro player didn't tell you to do this move, you're not using the character right. That kind of thing, I always hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, I like being competent with a character as much as the next guy, but I don't want to just be sitting there talking about what we need to be doing optimally all day. Oh, that's a mind flare. That's a mind flare. That's a mind flare. What? That tracked me? No! I should have rolled. Oh God. Oh, I'm definitely about to cheese you. Man tried to stun lock me and eat my brains. Just a rain matches, thankfully they didn't like that too much. Gotcha. But yeah, nah, man, I'm so glad I stopped playing League. I used to play a lot of League, like a lot of League, to the point where I could still remember how some characters are supposed to be played just due to how long I played them and how much they didn't change. Because there's certain legacy characters, no matter how much of a facelift they get, their playstyle normally remains the same. One of those being Alistar for some reason. He never got like a real rework. He's just still the same champ he's always been. Timo, even though he looks better, he still relatively plays the same. He just, I guess, looked too ugly for developers. You can't have their mans going out like that. Like I played back when Sion didn't have feet. He just had like, if you look at an elephant's foot, those are Sion's feet. Back when Kassadin was the most broken champion. Back when blue build Ezreal was still viable. Oh, okay, okay, okay. What is he doing? Pizza feet target? Right. I remember we would catch more of him and Ezreal in the bottom lane. You know, people used to ship them. That was funny. Don't make me use this. I need this guy to come around the corner so I can stab him. Thank you. Feed Thornmail and go top. Jesus. Sound like the people going Vayne top today. Just toxic. Yeah, see, what is the range on that? Like, is it something he shoots out at me, or is it something different? I'm still so confused by the attack, even though I've seen it like 3,000 times. I remember back when people used to buy like pages of runes, back when you had to buy pages of runes for League, and everything would just be crit. It would just be nothing but crit. Oh. Sorry, we got Sir Shanks a lot over here. I'm trying to find my way again to get back to where I need to be. Ah! Knives hurt. 22% level 1 gameplay. Man, it'd be crazy. Oh, Ravon, thank you so much for hitting me with the sub. Really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, bro. You must be at work. You got money. Okay. Where am I headed? We gotta find the spot where I got shot at last time. I'm trying to see if there's like any other spots to rest I may have missed. I think that's another thing with the older games too, the older Souls games. You didn't have a checkpoint like around every other corner. I never found a key for this guy, huh? Well, that's got to be death. Dark Souls 3 is the best one in the series for you? I feel that. That's a lot of people's entry points into the Soulsborne games, Dark Souls 3. Whereas like the first two games, they were experimenting and still ironing stuff out. 3 was like, okay, we got it now. I know it's just mostly dude in armor, but it's a love letter. That's the one of the beautiful things about 3 was that that's one of the first games where you could be just more than a dude in the armor. I mean, granted that the Soulsborne games have always been more about like being able to experiment and do different playstyles. But I think once you got to Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, that level of experimentation became more and more apparent where you're like, okay, I actually don't have to just do this. This isn't just the most optimal build. Ow. He tried to finish me. Oh, that's so cheap. My brains. I think Radon is one of my personal favorites. He hold me. They've never done that before. I've never seen the Mind Flayer do that before. Normally it's that into another stun. I've never seen him do that attack. I actually still don't know how to block it. I'm going right back for the run back. I'd say the main reason Radon is one of my favorites too is just because of the person he was before he lost his mind, before he got hit by that Scarlet Rot, before Millennia hit him with the Snow Bunny mind control. Oh my god, the Mind Flayer is behind me. The Mind Flayer is behind me. I didn't see it. Two of those? What? Okay. I have to patiently work my way back. I can't just run through him. All right. That's crazy. I think Elden Ring is up there. That's one of the reasons I'm going back and playing Bloodborne, because I want to have a better informed opinion after playing a lot of the other Souls games. I don't think I'll stream the rest of them. I'll definitely stream Bloodborne, but I think the other ones I kind of just want to play through without being on stream. I beat Lies of P. I beat about to beat this one. I beat a few others, but I want to make sure I beat Bloodborne because Bloodborne is really good. Bloodborne is one of the ones I never really got the full chance to play. So fire doesn't stun lock them like I was hoping it would. How'd I miss? That was that far, huh? Nobody told you to try and run up on this fight. They keep giving me this age spice. What does it do? Does it do anything interesting? Mana. I don't use magic in this run through, so. So sad I got caught slipping like that. I really don't know what they expect me to do either. Man, do I look like a nerd? Casting spells. Does it look like I can read? Now faith though. I like that the flames on the sword actually work as a torch. He doesn't even know what's coming. Oh, there's another one. Hey. Yeah, this remake is actually it's so beautiful. Housekeeping. Yo, I've actually never gone to this part. I'm in uncharted territory right now. The fact that there's mind flayers everywhere is concerning. Put it on a PC, Sony, you cowards. Hey, tell them to add Bloodborne while they're at it. Visions of rats. Going back up. I don't know if I have the mental capacity to deal with the rats right now in case I get poisoned. I'm looking for the keys to try and free this man. Upstairs. And this ghost. There's a ghost upstairs I want to help. Hey, apparently a lot of people did not like this remake. There's a lot of people who did and a lot of people who didn't. Like long-term fans. Beware magicians ahead? I hope they mean more mind flayers, right? Look at that power clean. That snatch he just did to catch the gate. Look at right. I think this is just where we are at. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of different gates I'm opening that just kind of lead to the same places, which is understandable for a place like this as well. It is a prison after all. Somebody died here. Whoa, how? I haven't found any new keys, but then again, I haven't been exactly looking for them either. I know we haven't cleared out all the mind flayers yet, but I think we need like at least 2 or 3 more dead before we clear out all the ones up here. Oops. He's got poison on his knife. Yeah, right. What is it? Which developer was the one who's like, yeah, I'm sorry if there's so many poison areas. I just really like them. Ow. I'm not that easy. You gotta take me out for dinner first if you want to poke me with a sword. Okay. I just want to talk to him. He said, I just want to have a somewhat of a constructive conversation. Just want to ask him why he did what he did. Got nothing crazy. Ah, yes, there's the other mind flayer I was looking for. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's down the hallway looking menacing. Let me actually adjust the chair I'm sitting in real quick. I think it's gonna take him a minute to get here. Wee woo. Is he gonna come walking this way? If not, I can just kind of run up and stab him in the back. This looks like a job for the metal sword. Or flaming sword, I mean. We've got to cut the distance before he's even aware. That could have been so tragic. That could have been so oh, maybe it might be tragic. I was stun locked for so long. This is crazy. That's my fault. That's all my fault. Your hubris was your undoing, Anakin. You underestimate my power. No, Anakin, no. I just want to see like what works and what doesn't, because like and he just sat there and took it. Like what is happening? He didn't even put up a fight. The AI is playing tricks on me, man. They said, you know what we did to you was really bad. Really hit me with the I'm sorry, OG. Oh God. The internet has ruined you, hybrid. I didn't want to use that. I missed. Am I going to cheese the AI? Absolutely. I was ruined long before the internet. Oh no. Right this way, sir. Never get that transformer for Christmas? Oh no. No tentacles allowed. No tentacles allowed. Oh, this is where I died last time. Okay. Didn't expect us to come full circle like that so fast. Seen enough to know where this is going is crazy. There's a mind flare on the other side of the screen. Oh, I've killed one, but why do I feel like there's another? Remember, any fantasy setting, the chances of encountering a mind flayer in this modern era are low, but never zero. They're actually a terrifying enemy. Especially if you come across one in D&D. If you're not careful, a mind flayer can kill your entire party. Ow, I got shanked. I'm using the wrong grass here. I'm using the potent stuff and I need to be using Reggie instead. This is where we start off, if I remember correctly. You threw a mind flare at a level 1 party of 5? I'm assuming they were supposed to run away, right? Right? This man is evil. You know, is it pronounced Radvilas? Hope I pronounced your name right. If I did, if I didn't, I'm sorry. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, okay. Look for item. What brings you through? A mind control barbarian sounds horrifying though. There's funnily enough, one of my friends is setting up a D&D campaign. What I mainly try to do now for D&D campaigns, a lot of people have been asking me to play. I mainly try to go in as filler, just to be like, oh hey, you know, if you don't have enough people, I can be there here and there, but I don't want to get people's hopes up just in case like something ends up going wrong with the schedule or I end up all of a sudden not being available. So I always tell people like, hey, you know, I can, but I try not to be the central point of their campaign, if that makes sense. I remember doing that for one campaign. I ended up showing up more than the people who actually were integral to the campaign, like the core members. Could you help me with... Your White World Tendency, I could help you with bosses. You need 2 more black phantom to kill to get a platinum. My apologies, Rad. I just don't think I'm your guy right now. I really just don't have the time. But I wish you good luck with the boss. I'm over here trying to get through this jail map. My goodness. That was, man, that was a crazy jump scare. Mind Flayer didn't slay anything, it just started blasting. I think there's another Mind Flayer around the corner. Okay. I'm good, Rad. I'm mainly just trying to play through the game solo. I'm not really trying to party up or co-op with anybody right now. Appreciate the offer though. Man, you saw it, right? It just tried to walk up on me and kill me. Wonder if we can get him like we got the rest. You thought your name was Ricky, man. Stay back. There's a tentacle-free zone. Okay. This guy is fighting his own demons. Somebody in here is not having a good time. Oh, that's her singing. I forgot. Wood is crazy. I mean, you know, I guess, you know, with a little makeup, if you're in the ghouls from Fallout, probably, you know, or if you've seen a couple of women in Outlast Trials or men. She seems like a nice enough woman. I romanticize worse. I think you have a problem, Hybrid. I don't know how to tell you this, but I think you have a problem. Your first answer should not have been, I've romanticized worse. This is a real life example of you choosing the wrong dialogue option in real time. Your line was, I'd still hit. just like last time. Almost fell for it again. I really don't know what the flares did to these people, man. Oh, somebody just died. They're flaying his mind. Whatever primordial being makes me a vessel. Dear Lord, you sound like a friend of mine. Everybody all of a sudden wants to be a Lovecraftian entity. So we're not friends? I didn't say that. If that's what you got from that, hey, that lets me know what you know, where we stand. That's insane. You know, I'd say we're cool hybrid, but realistically, I don't know who you are. Like, you seen dope. I've got nothing but, you know, great impressions. But realistically, like, I don't know who you are. You know, it's nothing like a bad thing or anything, but it's always something like I make sure if I call someone my friend, like there's someone I actually know or have met or have like had extensive conversations with and all that jazz. Be the internet friends, yeah. But even my internet friends, you know, I've known for like years. I've gotten to know them. But yeah, not saying I'm not appreciative of you and that, like, not that I don't like you. It's just, you know, I just have no idea who you are outside of the internet. So I can't really call us friends. That's just me being realistic. All these notes. I know where I need to go to find other things. I'm just trying to make sure I clear out all these floors so I can make sure I got these keys. Millennial, not Gen Z. I'm not gonna cry. You know, that is something a millennial would say. that is something a millennial absolutely will say. Hey, as long as you didn't vote for Trump, we're all good here. I wonder if like destroying these canisters actually does anything, story-wise or lore-wise. Ow. Okay, let me see if I can curve the sword. Wow. What's crazy about that is the spear is already extended, so I thought the hurt box disappeared, but it didn't. Just got back from Costco and I failed my don't spend more than $200 challenge. Oof. Truly, it'd be like that. Bulk stores are so great. But I have to remember, like, oh yeah, you're gonna definitely spend some money going here because they're bulk stores. But they're so nice because you don't have to make 5 different trips and you can just buy what you need in a giant box. It really is helpful for saving a lot of time on grocery shopping. That is something I'm thankful for. Yeah, especially cleaning supplies, because man, other places charge you an arm and a leg for what a bulk store will give you in one pack. It's kind of crazy. All right, let me start heading down some of these stairs. Any sets of keys I missed? I don't think so. Cleared out most of the floors too, so let me go back up. This place is almost like a labyrinth. And for a prison this wide, they really just don't have a lot of prisoners left. Trying to finish the left leg for Spider-Man's favorite suits tattoo. Oh wow, so you're getting a whole sleeve of Spider-Man suits? That's dope. I'd imagine that gets expensive because I know some sleeve tattoos, like some of them charge like 4,000, 5,000. I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, I can't die here. No. Not to this. Not to that. Look at the way he's running. Oops. All right. You know what? Gotta have a whole dagger. Think you're just going half sleeve. I feel that. Might be for the best too, especially leave yourself some room in case you ever change your mind on what you want, or if there's anything else you might want to add. Fully understand that. I need to stop getting hit. Spider-Punk would be sick. I hope you find an artist that's able to do that. Let's talk for a second there.
Oh, I am afraid. Perhaps you could. I am a sage. Oh, but take heed. Perhaps you. Oh.
All right, so we must have to actually fight somebody to get a key for him. Either that or it's in a spot I have never been before. So many twists and turns down here, man. Gonna get future foundation, but the eyes are too bulging for you. Fair enough. Fair enough. There's so many different Spider-Man suits and like different outfits throughout the year. Oh. Like, what is that? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I knew that was gonna happen. He's actually just standing there. Oh, he's coming towards me now. Every time when I think I've cleared this whole place of mind flares, another one comes out of nowhere. I don't think he sees me. If I had some fire bombs, this would be a lot easier. How'd I miss? How'd I miss? How'd I miss? That was diabolical. That was also diabolical. through the wall? What is that? I feel like people fighting Pain for the first time in Naruto, where he's just spamming almighty push. I really just don't know how to deal with it. We'll figure it out eventually, though. Maybe what I'm hoping to do is maybe I just need a stronger shield and I can just block it and not deal with it. Just break it up that way. Anything else up here? Okay, yeah, no, we just need to go through those gates, I guess. Ow. Everybody here is so mean. I guess I'd be that way if somebody came into my house unannounced too. What if I go all the way back here? But I always say, lock your doors no matter how safe your neighborhood is, because anybody could just come waltzing on in. Starting to think these guys deserve to be in here. Now you would think the key for his actual freedom would be right there, but it's not. You have a white soul tendency, you can proceed. Don't think I do. Oh yeah, I'm just going downstairs then. Oh, that guy got stunned. That guy, yeah, if he's getting eaten as we speak, that's unfortunate. I think he's no, he's dead. He's definitely dead. We just witnessed a lobotomy. Thought that was a door for a second. I hear something slimy. You know, they're really diabolical for having us step out into this giant area that's all black. It's straight up darkness. And I just can't see where the mind flayer would be coming. Oh, you know what? I know what this is. That's what the slimy thing is. I remember fighting this thing. Yep. Whew, that was too slow. thing is so nasty. Oh God. I don't even know what this thing is that I'm looking at. What are the mind flayers doing down here, man? I was hoping this would be one of the enemies. Once we kill them, they'll stop popping up, but no. Not at all. Oh, I need that. Thank you. Voidfall, absolutely. That would have been tragic if I did all that and just to die right there. Oh man. Just check and make sure I've seen everything there is to see if there isn't like a hidden key or something. There's gotta be like another warden or somebody here that has a key for that, man. I'm in trouble. Please recommend this message. Anything? No? Okay. Oh, that man's got to be like screaming for help like eternally. No keys. I already got the loot and everything down here. It's interesting, as much time as I spend in here, I still keep catching things I haven't seen yet. It's so weird. Something or someone is growling. Oh, it's you guys. They'll be fine. I'm sure of it. Alright, was this thing protecting anything? Because if not, I'm just gonna go through those gates and see what else is here. Yeah, no, so we're just gonna go through. We're gonna have to kill someone for that key. I can feel it in my bones. I've gone through here already. Okay. The thing is, I don't know how we're gonna get past that. Oof. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see how this guy does it. Oh no. I need to see you. Okay. We're gonna try this. Okay. That does not work. So maybe I'm not supposed to walk through here. I wanted to test it because I'm like, okay, so why is this built this way then? Like, we should be able to run through that, but apparently not. I tried that last time and died, so I don't think you can actually protect yourself from getting shot there. I would like to find out what else is over there, but I don't think I can currently. I think we might have to find another passage around. But most, if not all, of the threats should be taken care of. The usual suspects, at least. I shouldn't run unexpectedly into another mind flayer. Where's that gate I saw just not too long ago? Oh, forgot about this door. That's how you end up on the other side. Tripole arm. Is this the only way? Am I doomed to die and just getting fat shamed? Because those arrows are just hitting me all over my love handles. I guess I gotta go down and find that gate again then. Let me go up the stairs and go around. The stairs, where were they? Haven't opened this gate, that means danger. But don't have the key for this one yet. That's crazy. Wait, am I missing something? Huh. Yeah, no, this is a completely different staircase. What? Try back this way, I guess. Nope, nope, nope. This was the way around. Oh my god, I fell. Okay. That's fine. All I have to do is find my way back. I legitimately can't get past you. Walk off a high section, truly it'd be like that. No, my stamina. No cardio having. Gotta be in shape to wear all this armor and swing that sword, you know? Just a lot. That mind flayer trying to snipe me from halfway across this. He is. That's funny. Crazy. Insane. They really don't like me. That's fine because I don't like them. I need to be able to move freely down here though, so I have to kill these two. Super weird because I can never see like what I need to do there. That's so cheap. Trying to target the mind flayer, please. That's the range, okay. I might die here. I have a pixel. Oh my god. Okay. It's so weird, like, going through and dodging that, because I don't know if it's like a frame type thing where if I roll as they're doing it, I won't get hit, because I've rolled out of attacks before where because of the AoE, I still got hit even though I rolled the moment he did it for like different bosses. What makes this weird is that they're doing those attacks as I'm getting up, so I don't really have a choice but to get hit. So 3 large stabs. If I can catch them in between their attacks, we'll kill them. Okay. Okay, so maybe it's a timing thing. Okay, so we made it here before. We just got to go back down to where we were before. We died. Oh, wrong cell, wrong cell. Gotta find that gate again where we were at the first time. That's scary. Okay, so that thing's still there, which is fine. Crazy atmosphere down here, though. This wasn't the spot. How did I get down there last time? I have to like retrace my steps to get to that one specific point. How did I do it again? How did I do it again? That's twice now. I gotta stop doing that. Alright, run through him. Okay. Oh my goodness, these headphones. Okay, so we came down here. I think I need to make a U-turn. Actually, no, maybe not. Around one of these corners is a mind flare waiting. Okay. Jesus, that guy died again? Oh no. Okay, so we've been here before. I know this isn't the area, so we need to go back and down, I think. Not the spot, too low. Yo, Swashi, what's up? What's up? Trying to find the right way to go down here to get through this prison. If I can get out of here, I can get to the spot where I need to be. With these mind flayers, if the mind flayers don't get me, the falls do. Because they have the stunning attack that just they straight up eat you. Like, look at this. There's one right around the corner right here. Aye, aye. That's how fast like this can go downhill. Yeah. So I found the right route to go this time, but I have to go back and kill them because like just like that they can just kill you immediately. The thing is, I don't know if it's like something that they send backwards, if it's something they do attack towards you, or what exactly is the thing you have to do to avoid that. Because I want to block it, but I still take damage regardless because it's magic damage, and I guess my shield doesn't block enough yet. I'm running out of resources. I need to get somewhere fast. When I catch them slipping, it's not too much of an issue, but when I run into one like that, it's pretty much checkmate once they hit me like that, and there's not much I could do. To my knowledge, at least. I'm pretty sure once I figure out what the answer is, it's a lot better, but as of now, I'm still pretty much in the dark. 'Cause 3 heavy attacks will kill them, but sometimes they don't wait for me to attack, and other times they just freeze me immediately. Ooh, that would have sucked. And of course, you have moments like that. Yeah, it's a pretty obvious tell for that attack. That attack normally isn't the one giving me trouble though. It's the follow-up. That's the one that gives me a lot of issues. The stuns, even I can tank the stun and being bitten pretty easily. It's the follow-up that kills me. And those spells like that hurts. Is this okay? So it is just like all around them. I took a gamble there. But yeah, I'm just not sure how to dodge that one. Which is why I've just been cheesing them out, kinda. That hurts. Wonder if he's gonna turn around. I need him to come towards me. That's far enough. I missed. But yeah, it's pretty fast. So even if you do anticipate it, you have to be ready to react. Man, who you telling? Oh my goodness. Plus these random guys who just like to come out of nowhere. Got that Stockholm syndrome, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if the mind flayers convince them they're normal human beings and everybody else who walks through are mind flayers. But yeah, I've seen D&D parties fall to mind flayers, man. All it takes is them grabbing one person for the whole party to fall apart, really. Like I said, I don't know if destroying these do anything. Okay, so I think that's too far down. I have to stay up here. There's a mind flare at the end of this hallway. This is where I died. This is the one that killed me. Yeah, see, this is one of them is going to kill me. Like, there's nothing to do there. Ay, ay. Oh, they have mind flayers in Final Fantasy? That's crazy. Just can't get away from them, I guess. I need to figure out how to stun them. Maybe bludgeoning damage will be the thing. Actually, no, not bludgeoning. Piercing is definitely the thing here. Piercing and slashing for sure. I fudged up. I got too greedy. That's on me. That's not even the mind flayer's fault. Okay. That makes sense, because I have seen a lot of different overlaps with different JRPGs regarding monsters and D&D and other things of that nature. Like everybody's pulling from the same book, like minotaurs, mind flayers. There's always a giant spider for some reason, or like some type of worm entity, a snake, a hydra. What is it? I forgot the name of the monster that makes everybody forget that it exists. There's quite a few monsters like that in different things, but see, this is what gets me, because sometimes the mind flayer will literally do nothing, and other times it's like, all right, pal, I'm spamming my move immediately. Like, see how it's getting stunned? Other times when it starts its attack, it just doesn't stop. Beholder, yeah, beholders. Welcome into Real Storm. Yeah, beholders are another one. Oh God. Or one time we ran into one in a party where we were trying to, because I remember some pretty interesting people who like to do different things regarding one shots and different D&D runs. So like one of them, we were literally, I think it was a one shot being in Loki's mansion, and Loki was like the big bad evil guy of the one shot. And there's like, yeah, anything you take, if you complete my challenges, you can leave with it. So he said, oh yeah, we can just take anything, huh? He said, yeah, we tried to steal his cape. One of my friends immediately tried to run his cape and started getting stabbed. I said, oh no. About that back in 2019 really blew your mind, because I really thought this came up with monsters doing development. Some of them do. Others, that, yeah, D&D is a clear inspiration. I think D&D really wrote the blueprint for this. Funnily enough, if I remember correctly, the creator of D&D, his wife thought he was cheating on him, when he was actually making the game. So she was like following him one night and found out that he was just playing games with his friends trying to create the game. I think his name is Gary Gygax. Oh God. What's the title of the stream? I've never seen two pretty best friends. It's like the polar opposite of it where both friends are ugly. See, like, look at that range. Oops. I did it to myself. I did it to myself. I did it to myself. Man, beholders are wild. Sometimes beholders will just spawn another beholder into existence. A lot of them are paranoid. They randomly just have death lasers that could just erase you. I'm like, what? And they cast magic at such a high level. Yeah, like it's always interesting hearing different stories of how this stuff came to be and like what people went through to develop it. I couldn't imagine making a game like D&D from scratch with just a group of people. But that's how some of the best things, what's the word for it? About a lot of things that come out to this day. What is wrong with you is crazy. I don't know about Gygax. Internet. This is literally, you know, it's just one of those things where if you're curious enough about how something came into fruition, it doesn't really take too much for, especially a hobby like D&D, to find out who the creator is. Like, no matter how old something is, there's always going to be somebody who knows who made it, for the most part. It's like no different, I'd say, than going back and finding out who created basketball and how basketball was made and stuff like that. When you say purist, in what regard are you asking? My normal answer is no, but I don't know what would you consider a purist? Or like what the context for a question like that is. Basically, I'm asking what made you ask if I was a purist. But yeah, I didn't know too. I didn't know. I know he was founded by multiple people, but I didn't know if the other creators actually got credited too. I wouldn't say so. Sometimes I play with cheats, sometimes I play without them. It doesn't matter to me. As long as people have fun playing the game, that's the only thing that really matters. I don't really care so much about any of the other stuff as long as you can just play the game. Because any D&D game, the hardest boss is scheduling. The hardest part of playing any D&D game is getting 4 or 5 people's schedules to align properly to play the game. Really, I was wondering why you said Dave was cool. I was like, have you met him? I forgot to ask. That's dope. I didn't know he also teach. I don't think I want any parts of what that is over there. Watch the what? Watch the chairs. Yo, Shaggy, what's up? What's up? Hope you're doing well. We were literally just talking about D&D. And my DMs and like how people run games and stuff like that. I was telling everybody about the time we did the one shot and we were in Loki's mansion and we tried to steal the cape off that man's back. We started cutting up that man's carpet, trying to take it with us because we saw he had that good carpet. He was like, yeah, anything you can take, you can keep. I said, okay. Give me that cape. 2 of our friends got blown up in an explosion because somebody was dumb enough to light up the explosive barrels. And then, you know, the DM adding some flavor text, which is something Loki would do, just had us bring them back just to mock them. It was a nice one shot. It was a nice one shot. D&D is a very fun game if you play with the right group of people. Like you can say that about a lot of things, but not everything. It truly just does become a different experience if you're playing it with people you care about. And like if people are role playing, actually role playing. I do get why everybody's not always able to get into it though, because not everybody has the type of imagination required. Which is why like Baldur's Gate 3 and like Divinity Original Sin 2, like games like those were a big hit. Because those games are literally just D&D in video game form. Like Baldur's Gate is on the Sword Coast. Ever played but you watch others how to play one day after hearing you talk about it? It can be fun. If you have a bad DM or a bad party member, it definitely dampens the experience. Some people try to put like their fantasies into the game and not taking other people into consideration. Like some people just go full weeb and they'll make like, oh, I want this character to use 3 swords and then do all this other thing. I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're making Zoro in D&D, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. But then they'll get super... Oh. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling I didn't have to go this way. Ended up finding the right way to go on accident. But yeah, I've seen people even do custom builds for like D&D characters. Like if anybody's seen Hellsing Ultimate or like Fairy Tail or Naruto, you know, any of the big anime, what you'll have is sometimes people put anime characters or like do an anime character style build, which if done correctly can be really dope and really tasteful, as long as you're not trying to one-to-one rip the character into the game. I've seen that a lot. There's like channels dedicated to it, but the world is filled with so much lore and storytelling. Like I want to say one of the reasons why you can only cast up to a certain level of spells in 5e. Let's go. Oh, Swashi, thank you so much for the follow. I want to say one of the biggest reasons that like you can't cast a certain level of spells in 5e is because lore-wise, somebody in 4e casted a spell that was so high that it started actually messing with the magical system in itself. And the gods were like, okay, yeah, mortals can no longer cast spells above this level. But it's just, you know, that's a lot of what we talk about. Comic books, anime, D&D, mental health, just video games, whatever, man. Yeah. It's like you might hear me lore dump a lot about Warhammer and D&D. My D&D lore is a little rusty, though, because I haven't really had too many people to talk about it with, and I haven't been playing as much lately. I think tomorrow we'll be playing a fighting game, either Street Fighter or Tekken. I haven't fully made up my mind. Avoid projectiles. It's funny because I have a friend who every hobby he's gotten into has been more and more expensive. He started out with D&D, then he moved on to Magic the Gathering, and now he's like really into Warhammer. Still plays Magic. I did no damage. Invulnerability frames. She just like me for real. Oh my god. All right. Ow. This is what war used to be like in the medieval era. You and another person just swinging at a shield, just stabbing each other. Everybody's getting poked. This is why they say don't get into knife fights. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, let me... Ow. I stab you, you don't stab me. She baited me. She's gonna stab me. Ooh, I thought she was gonna stab me in my back. I tried to stab her in her back. We're both bad. This looks so awkward. Oh yeah, this is how, what is it? I forgot what some of the classes were. I know there's a class based on like one of the main bosses in the game, like Apollyon. She has some copycats. That's illegal. Oh yeah, go ahead. Ay. 5e Vorpal Blade, man. I had a friend who I mean, he was running his D&D campaign. Our characters are busted. I think because this is when the Goliath just recently came in. I don't even think he was a Goliath. I think he was a half orc who had the sentinel feat and he used a pole arm. He had super high, what's the word for it? He had priority in almost any other fight we got into. And what would happen is anybody coming towards him, he'd be able to hit them to stop their movement so he could keep them out just fine. But also if you tried to leave his reach, he also got opportunity attacks. So you would just be stuck fighting him the moment you became in his range. So if you were trying to hit any of the squishier members of the party, he would just light your back up. Plus I think he was an echo fighter, which he could make clones of himself. So he would just be action surging and you would be getting hit by 2 people with pole arms. Had an associate try to get you in an RTS version of Warhammer, but you just couldn't. That's understandable. For anybody starting in the Warhammer, I'd recommend more so the 40k side. Like Darktide. Darktide is a great point for people to jump into if they're interested in the world at all. Just because it's a co-op based horde shooter. Here is a false god. Oh no. Oh, you do like you some 4X, but just didn't understand Warhammer? It's a lot. It's a lot. Darktide, Vermintide, Space Marine, absolutely. If I die here, are they gonna send me all the way back? Stellaris is really good, like really, really good. Three arms, mind flayers in the house. Good lord. Fool's Idol? Okay, okay. Sorry, y'all. Y'all can go back to praising the Lord. Y'all ain't gotta be mad at me. Where's she at? I'm sorry? She's an alchemist. She doesn't need to use transmutation circles. So is it a visual thing? No, it's just at certain spots, I think. Yeah. She's reading. Where did she go? I'll take that. Okay, okay, so they're traps, they're traps. She's strategically, oh my god! Feels like I'm fighting the end in Metal Gear Solid. Ah, I see, I see, I see. If only I got here like 30 minutes ago, I would have had so many more resources. Ow. See, the DM would do this to you and he'd be like, yeah, what's your AC again? How much health does your character have? Yeah, let me get that character sheet. I'm not surviving, by the way. Oh, okay, so the traps are still active. So once you trigger them, they stay active. I didn't know that. Okay, okay, okay. Can I not go through the pews? I can't. I'm being body shamed. I have to go to the spot where she wants to shoot me. All right, so we need to go around then. So we know the trap is right there, right? Right. So we know it's placed in strategically. Maybe here? Look at how much health she has. So this can't be the real one then. My goodness. All right, so this is gonna be a battle of attrition. All right, so the people who worship her don't get hurt. But I can't go that way. Or maybe I can once they trigger it. We can definitely beat this boss then. Okay. Where are the new circles popping out? Okay. I'm aware now. I know what to do. You're not the real one. I just need you gone. I knew it. Not like this. Okay. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Can I backstab you? Not in a traditional sense. I was blocking. Wait, maybe if I kill y'all, do I get anything? Nope. Let me just check my inventory. We have some knives. This will actually be helpful for this boss fight. All right. Ow, her projectiles are better than mine. All right. Feels like this is what happens when you peek in Siege. That's her. Oh my god. It's still here? I'm sorry, she's spawning more? Another clone. Okay. It really is. I'm hoping like somebody drops some health, but they won't. That still hurts. Okay. All right. Oh no. Ah, what? I thought I was in cover. I was not. And we get sent all the way back to the start. Okay. All right, so we know what to do for next time. I would try it again, but I'm out of time and I don't want to push things. Yeah, we're gonna have to try that next time. Plus, I'm gonna need some more healing items. But yeah, we definitely got it. I just didn't know the traps would stay afterwards. That's the only thing. Excuse me. That's I think the worst part is that her traps stay. They don't disappear after you trip them. So that's something I needed to keep in mind. But Thank you guys so much for coming through. Really, really appreciate it. Everybody who took the time out their day to be here, pop in, especially if you're new or returning. Really appreciate that as per usual. But thank you, Swashy, for the follow. Shaggy for popping in. Rayvon for the sub. Who else we got? The Real Storm. Hybrid. I know we had Ravilas come through. I hope the same for you, Shaggy. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day as well. Who else do we have? Tony, Boom, Jay. Bang. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Real Storm, I appreciate that. Who else? Quite a few people came through today. But do apologize if I missed you or didn't remember. But thank you guys so much for coming through, spending this time with me, like I said before. We'll be back Friday playing some type of fighting game, probably Street Fighter, probably Tekken, one of the two. Maybe even something completely different. I'll let you guys know. By the way, I did make a new Twitter. I'll leave a link to that in case you guys want to follow me. Just because I'm trying to be more active on there. So if you do want to see what I'm up to in my spare time as far as like gaming news or fighting games, stuff like that, you guys be able to see it here. I think Twitter thinks I'm a bot because I'm a new account and I've been posting a lot. So they're kind of limiting my posts for now. But if you guys do want to catch me posting anything or talk about more stuff, that would be the place. Trying to build that up. But for everybody on Twitch, this is the first and second raid message. For those subscribed to the channel, for those who aren't subscribed. And let me actually pull up who we're going to be raiding. Actually, who is currently... Oh, I think we'll raid Cesar. I don't normally get a chance to raid Cesar, and it's been a hot minute, so I want to show him some love. If you guys don't know who he is, he's been playing a lot of Destiny 2. He also sings and makes his own music, so sometimes you'll be hearing his soundtrack and everything. And then he'll be actually, what's the word for it? Singing sometimes, especially after he gets raided. He almost always sings after he gets raided. So if you do want to firsthand hear what his voice sounds like, you can. But yeah, I'll see you guys Friday. Hope you guys take care of yourselves, drink water, get some rest, exercise, and eat properly. See you then.